Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evans Okinya. I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm joined by Wakili Willis Otieno, who is the Deputy Party Leader of Safina Party, as well as a constitutional lawyer. Wakili, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Yes.
Let's weigh in on this conversation about the stability of the country, be it political and economic stability. This is what has been happening in the country. And the other time Raila Odinga was actually talking, and he said here that, look, the country was actually teetering and was on the brink of a collapse back then. And he said that that is why President William Ruto approached him and told him, come on, brother, let's have this moving forward. So he said that for the sake of the country and for the sake of the political stability of this nation, they decided to work together. Let's weigh in and tell us at least, what do you think about this? Because, and weigh in, beginning all the way from when we had all those demonstrations back then.
You know, one thing that we must say is this.
Yes.
And it's Raila Odinga's right to choose a political side. And the question that he posed, Ruto must go. After he goes, what next?
Yeah.
To answer that question, we simply ask, when Azimio led demonstrations in Kenya in 2023, they were saying Ruto must go. They should tell us that which was going to happen if Ruto went that time is what also should happen when the Gen Z one succeeds. That one which there was going to happen. That one which they said Ruto must go in 2023. And they led very good mandamanos. That one which was going to happen is the same one that will happen after the Gen Z revolution. So the Constitution of Kenya and the people of Kenya are supreme. They will find a way out of these challenges. There will be leadership. We should not fear that there will be instability. They have not witnessed Kenyans fighting against fellow Kenyans. Kenyans are fighting against bad governance and economic failures of Kenya Kwanza. So we should not be gaslit to think that there will be instability, there will be chaos. There will be no chaos when Ruto goes. There will be one united nation looking for a better future for itself. That is what we are looking forward to. So our institutions are still there. I've been to demonstrations during the Azimio ones, during the Gen Z ones, and I've never seen a Kenyan standing up against a fellow Kenyan based on tribe or political party.
Yes.
I've only seen policemen shooting at Kenyans. So if Kenyans are not fighting, civilians are not fighting against civilians, then where did the stability come from? The Gen Z revolution was about good governance, about the economy. And people are there across all tribes and all parties. Even older people were in the demonstration, some of them. So the country will hold. Just a matter of finding a way in which they'll come up with the next leader. So there's no political instability here. There's only a threat to the legacy politicians and their higher threat of tentacles. So they're ganging up to preserve their positions. It's not about the people. And the people of Kenya are united. There's no division. The only people who are not in this unity is William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza, who are the source of our oppression. They are the new oppressors of the people. So if they are trying to unite Kenya, unite them on what? Kenyans are united on the economic pain they are going through. And they want a solution to the economic pain. And Kenya Kwanza is the source of that pain. They cannot be the unity face.
But how does destabilizing the country actually help solve the economic situation?
But the country is not unstable. I've told you.
But back then it was.
The country was not unstable.
Wakili, we were there with you on the seats on 25th of June, and you saw actually what happened.
There was no instability, as I've told you. I didn't see a Kenyan fighting a fellow Kenyan.
Yes.
I saw policemen shooting at Kenyans. If the guns stopped, if the police stopped shooting at Kenyans, will Kenyans start shooting at fellow Kenyans? No. A demonstration of our rights under Article 37 does not mean there is instability.
Okay.
Instability to me is if Kenyans are fighting against fellow Kenyans. I've never seen it. Since Raila'S demonstrations to the Gen Z demonstrations, I've never seen it. So the country is very stable. It's the police who are rioting. They are the ones who are acting in undermining our constitution. Because the right to demonstrate is provided for in our constitution. Tell me where Kenyans have turned against fellow Kenyans. None. So why are you saying there's instability? There's no instability.
Businesses were closed. All activities were paralyzed in the country. So how?
I am telling you, in my participation in those demonstrations, I did not see anybody attack even those businesses. In fact, the attacks came when some characters were paid by elements in the Kenya Kwanza administration to go and attack business premises.
Yeah.
But the rank and file of the demonstrators who are there, organic, were not attacking anybody's businesses. At one point, I drove through a mass of protesters. Not even a single side mirror of my vehicle was taken. Not even a single scratch on the vehicle. Those are peaceful demonstrators.
But the assumption here is that the demonstrations, as wild as they were, actually created that kind of environment for the looting to take
There are
place.
many times that the demonstrations were out on the streets. No premises were attacked.
Yes.
Attacks only took place when now Kenya Kwanza politicians started mobilizing youths and giving them reflector jackets and logs to go and beat up people and to steal. Yeah. How many times were young people on the streets? Not a single shop was attacked. Even during the Raila'S demonstrations. How many times did you see even his convoy and his people snake through very many heavily congested business areas and not a single shop was being ransacked? Kenyans are not attacking any fellow Kenyans. It is only when the state sponsored certain individuals to attack. So it's the state, it's the police and Kenya Kwanza who are a threat to stability, not the Kenyan people. The Kenyan people understand when they go to demonstrate, they're demonstrating on an issue. The economic failures of William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza. And we must not try to gaslight our people and saying, oh, they provide an environment. There is no environment they provided for attacks. It is the response of the oppressors that was in the attacks, not the people.
Okay, now tell me about this. What's your view on the say that, because I saw a number of leaders, especially from the Kenya Kwanza side on that time, say that, look here, bad government is actually better than no government at all.
No. A bad government is not better than anything. Not having a government is better than having a bad government. As long as you have institutions. So you want our people to die because of a bad government and because of fear. So there are countries which have not had governments for a long time and the institutions work.
So
Why do you want to inflate the ego of politicians?
Is that the
be
reason why the politicians back then were citing countries such as Somalia, Sudan, and how
We've had also Belgium that didn't have a government for a very long time. The country was holding.
Okay.
As long as you have institutions. Yeah.
Okay.
You can have institutions that function. But for us, we have a constitution. And we have a transition mechanism in our constitution. It can be adopted. So what is this thing you're saying about a bad government?
Okay.
We'll always have a government. Our constitution envisages how you feel a vacuum, how to transit. So we can never have a situation in Kenya that there is no government at all.
Okay.
There is no vacuum in our laws.
Okay. Do you therefore believe that in as much as Raila came in to save William Ruto and give him some sort of political limelight here and some sort of political life moving forward, that he would have done something different that would have maybe resonated well with the people?
It is his right to choose his political path. But there are consequences.
Okay.
And everybody must be ready to live with these consequences. Even Raila Odinga. He must be ready to live with these consequences, good or bad. If the people agree with this move, they will reward him. If they don't agree with him, they'll also equally communicate the same.
Should you face a similar situation as President William Ruto faced there at that time, where you think that you feel that the government is actually overpowered and everything is going down for you? For you, it's rumbling, everything is rumbling down. What should you do? Would you resign as well?
As William Ruto, I will quit. The voice of the people is the voice of God. If the people have said no to you, you quit.
Okay.
And the opposition, their role is not to support a government, not when it has failed in its functions. The opposition, like us, we are the government in waiting. If an administration has failed, let it collapse. Let us invoke the transition mechanism. Let's have a new administration elected by the people. It's not the duty of an opposition to prop a government, an administration. No. If their policies are not working, let them go. Go to elections. Let's have an administration that responds to the people's needs. That is the beauty of democracy. And in many countries over centuries, many governments have failed and collapsed. And the states have held. So William Ruto's government failing and collapsing will not be the first in the history of democracy in this world. It will be the first for Kenya, but not the first in the world. The country will hold.
And you believe the country will move on?
The country will hold and move on and will even forget. In fact, this will be a reference point on what happens to a government that fails to respond to the wishes of the people.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Wakili Willis Otieno here. All these, you're getting it on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show, The Candid Talk. Weigh in and tell us what you actually think about the show that we've just had right now. Allow me to stop for now. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of this family. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okenyi.